How's it going, everybody? George here from JP Lifestyle, helping you guys dress better, look better, and ultimately be better through style tutorial and tips videos like this. And yes, this is a serious video. I'm going to be going over 5 tips on how to be a gentleman without being a simp. Because there's been this notion on the internet for like the past 2 years where doing anything for a woman makes you a simp or a beta male, which is certainly not the case. There are still things that you can do and retain some of your masculinity. With all that, let's get started. Tip number 1 is don't let yourself be taken advantage of. That's really it. Like, I could end the video here and that's good enough advice. But this biggest thing to hear you have to be is observant. There's this weird thing going on now, especially in dating, and I have been a victim to it before in the past, where there's a lot of women out there that will specifically go out for guys just to get free stuff, or free dinner, or free date. This is something that you need to be aware of, especially if you're in uncharted territory, and if you don't know this person that well. There's definitely some implicit signals going on there. If they're not looking that interested, they don't really hold a conversation, and see how she reacts when you offer to pay. Usually if the date's going well, in modern times, people are fine with splitting it unless you're dealing with some uppity or very poorly informed individual. This is the most important thing. If there's implicit signals that they're really here just for free stuff and they're sort of making time pass by so it doesn't look socially awkward, you're being taken advantage of. Be observant, and if you do end up, just paying for her stuff or whatever, you're going to stop right there and tell her, like, look, I don't see us having anything else together. It just looks like you're out here to get free stuff. I don't want to see you again. Cut off contact, move on. You don't need additional headaches. Tip number 2 is to actually have a life. I don't mean this to be a dick or callous, but don't be that guy that's always dropping whatever it is he is doing to go hang out or go on a casual date that can easily be rescheduled. This makes you look slightly desperate, just a zest, a sprinkle of desperation, but it also makes it look like you don't have much going on, and this relationship that you have with this individual, whether it's, I'm talking if it's like super casual, you're in the early dating stages, you're not into like a committed relationship yet, it doesn't look like there's not much going for you, and this can actually lead to them thinking, okay, cool, I can take advantage of this person because they don't have much going on, or this is somebody I'm going to reject because it doesn't look like they have much going for it. If you have shit to study for, an exam, a test, you got work, an interview, a side hustle, prioritize that. Obviously, if the date is something important, something that really can't be rescheduled, then definitely go. But if it's something that's really not important and super casual, from them, they'll be like, oh, okay, that's fine. But I think subconsciously it shows, okay, this individual has a certain level of agency, confidence in themselves, independence, and responsibilities, making them look more of a catch than they really are if they didn't have anything else going for themselves. Tip number 3 is to be chivalrous. Now, I'm not talking about the grand debate of whether a guy should pay for dinner first on the first date. I'm talking about more so your etiquette. Now, me being Eastern European and growing up in an Eastern European conservative household, etiquette is basically kind of beaten into you from a young age, and this is actually to your advantage. If you're on a date with an individual and you can't really get a sense of their character, and you don't just want to go along with whatever it is because, oh my God, finally I'm on a date, I won't die lonely. Definitely have some etiquette and some chivalry, whether it's opening the door for the other individual, pulling out the chair so they can sit for it, putting the napkin on your lap, not holding a wine glass like this. It's a really great way to show that you are a more cultured individual, that you know manners, etiquette, and that you look like you're a respectful individual, and a little bit more of elevates your social status in certain situations, as well as you can get a good feel for their character, whether they notice this, number 1, that you're doing something chivalrous and proper etiquette, that they appreciate it or don't appreciate it, and it's a much better non-verbal communication strategy than like looking at their body language. Seeing how they react to these certain things is a great way to judge their character, and really gives you a feel for if this is an individual that you could potentially see yourself progressing along with in the next date or two, or is not really this is some hood rat you're dating. Tip number 4 is to be precise in your speech. I took that from the poster over there because there's some good advice. And this boggles my mind how people love to beat around the bush on certain topics and really have these very long-winded conversations on really nothing substantial. I'm not saying we're going to have a debate on Stoic philosophy, but this is something I really observed when my girlfriend and we got into a relationship, and then we go out more and see other couples or people just dating, and you can really tell the conversations that they have are like hot air, like, ooh, what do you like? What's your favorite movie? It's cool to find similarities, but you definitely don't want to have that conversation all the time because it's lacking depth. Really get to know the other person, what motivates them, what's their goals, what's their upbringing, where they see themselves, and getting real to the depth of their character and personality. You can see how much of their life that they, either don't have a clue for or have, goals and ideas in mind. These precise line of questioning, don't interview the other person, but as a natural conversation progresses, you getting deeper into stuff, can really make it seem like, okay, is this somebody that I really want to spend some time with, or they really don't have much going for themselves and I'm probably going to end up wasting my time more than anything. Fifth and final tip is anti-simp repellent. Don't rush into things. I know we can be excited if we've been dating for a while and can't find a good one, then we stumble upon one that, like, okay, we went out 2-3 times, things are going good. This may be, somebody I can see myself being with. Do not rush into things because this makes you look desperate. And if you're doing everything wrong, if you're doing the exact opposite of all the points I've laid out so far, you're a simp. But don't rush into things. Be calm, cool, and collective. Respect the other person. Okay, they're obviously going to need a little bit of time because you're still technically a stranger if you've only been going out a couple of weeks. Don't rush into things. Let it progress. If you notice things are progressively getting better over a course of a month, 6 to 8 weeks or so, then it'd be time to be like, hey, do you want to, seal the deal and actually, be in a relationship, saying it out loud so there's no confusion. That's great. But if you rush into things, it's going to make you look desperate and look like you're willing to walk on eggshells for an individual to give you the slightest bit of affection. But being cool, calm, and collective, it shows independence, maturity, and you actually genuinely understand where the other person's coming from, which will do you so much good in the long run and in your dating life. Here you guys have it. That is 5 fire tips on how to be a gentleman without being a simp. Nothing too special nor controversial. It may seem a little bit basic, but hey, a lot of people still struggle with basics. If you guys have made it this far into the video, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe, because if you watched it this far into the video, we're more serious about dressing better, looking better, and ultimately being better. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out some of my other videos on screen right now. Peace.